Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about the Star Wars New Hope novel adaptation. Um, this here is based off of the screenplay written by George Lucas, but it turns out that the novel adaptation is actually ghost written by Alan Dean Foster. And this here is about 200 pages, and it's pretty much word for word for what you see in a movie, with some added emphasis on some of the characters' perspectives, and it gives a little bit more perspectives on the droids side, as well as characters like, of course, Luke Skywalker. It's the wording is in some of the dialogue. The dialogue is slightly different, and with as well as the wording. And a couple of the scenes are in different places than what you see in the movie, and a lot of the screen cuts or deleted scenes are also added back into here for more of a to give more character to the story and to build upon the world building. For example, it gives a bit more storyline. It talks more about Luke Skywalker's backstory and heritage, and some of his friends, including that of the Biggs, where it gives more emphasis on Biggs and character. And has a bit more of a tragic side to things when Biggs later on dies during the attack of the Death Star scene. But yeah, that's pretty much it that I can gather. Oh, and Jabba the Hutt does make an appearance briefly in this book. I know there's a deleted scene where Jabba was like a human, but in this book it's vaguely describing Jabba's character or his looks. It mainly describes his character and persona, but it doesn't really give any emphasis on whether or not he's human or alien. So that's a plus for this. That's a plus for this, because yeah, it's written in a way where you can accept it as part of the Star Wars universe, and especially now that I'm say in the Star Wars Legends universe, Star Wars Legends continuity, and this is my opinion on it. When it comes to that, you can add it. You can add it into the Star Wars Legends continuity, and if you want, the Star Wars canon and continuity as well, because it's very brief and vague when it comes to some of the things written in it. It's pretty much word for word of what's, even though the dialogue is slightly different in some areas. There's some bit more explanation on Anakin's and Obi-Wan's relationship, but not as much. It's it's pretty much what you see in a movie. Just a little bit more added information and deleted scenes are added back in to it. So it's not much. There's not much change when compared between the novel adaptation and the movie. So yeah, go for it. If you wish to read it, have a little bit more insight, have a bit more information in detail. It does talk something I find it curious. It talks about some of the atmosphere and biodiversity on Tatooine, where it once said that it was covered in. It used to be a water planet before it became a desert, and it gives the idea that perhaps, maybe not, that the Jawas and Sam people have a ancient distant relative that they evolved from, but it's written as if it's speculation and factual. Yeah, that's something that I found a little bit interesting, curious as well. Yeah, that's Star Wars: The New Hope novel adaptation. Oh, also, um, it talks a little bit about how the Senate was dissolved, just briefly, and how they became bureaucrats. At the beginning of the book, in the introduction, or the prologue, I should say, it has a history talking about what came before, especially thousands of years ago in the distant past. This here is apparently written by it's apparently written by George Lucas himself, where he's talking about the history of what came before this and the political upheavals and some of the things about the Sith and the Jedi. And yes, the Sith is namely mentioned in this book. The Sith was the Sith name is originally comprised by George Lucas and was added within this book. Even though the name Sith was not incorporated within the movie in any way. It briefly talks about the rise of Emperor Palpatine, but the next it doesn't give that as much emphasis, or at least not as much as Return of the Jedi. And I'll get to that later, but just a little bit of what I about this book, just my little brief mentions about it and opinions. Other than that, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It's pretty nice. It's practically word for word for what you see in a movie, with some added emphasis here and there. And yeah, but yeah, I'll see you all later. Have a good one.